The fighting fields of For Honor are about to get a lot busier. During the closed alpha from September 15th to September 18th, select players from around the world will take up arms as 6 of the 12 playable heroes of For Honor. The Warden, the Raider, the Kensei, and the Orochi will be joined by 2 brand new warriors, the Conqueror and the Berserker. As players duke it out, they'll get a taste of For Honor's progression system by unlocking new abilities, new weapon and armor parts, and new visual customization elements to make sure they're ready to rumble in 3 distinct modes. The epic 4-on-4 clashes of Dominion, the tactical 2-on-2 showdowns of Brawl, and the intense 1-on-1 face-offs of Duel. You'll be able to watch the alpha in action as players stream their gameplay online, and we recently spoke to creative director Jason Vandenberg about how there's nothing like dueling someone one-on-one. Jason, we are here to talk about duels. You are a man who knows his way around a duel, a virtual one at least.
I've done some real-world dueling myself.
I mean, you kind of have to if he's going to inform For Honor. I mean, the duel, the sword fighting mechanics are so the heart of the game, the beating heart of this game.
Absolutely.
That you are trying to stick swords into at any given moment. But let's talk about that 1v1 mode.
Right.
Because we've seen Dominion and these sprawling battles, but 1v1 is a very special relationship that develops when you and one other player are just trying to kill each other.
There's no escape, right? It's skill against skill alone, right? No, it's fantastic. So, and the duel mode, of course, is it's exactly what you said. It's that beating heart of the game, kind of revealed in its purity, right? And it shows the full set of sort of fighting strategy tools that you have available to you, right? You have, because we have our 3 stances for our guards, right? Where we're like right, left, top, and that's that rock, paper, scissors mind game, right? But there's this whole layer of strategy that goes under there, because we also have the guard break systems. So if you're fighting against somebody who's being too defensive, right? You've got a tool to just open them right up, right? And that's if you're close enough, right? I can guard break you, and it doesn't matter what stance you're in. We have a bunch of other powers too. You can parry attacks that are coming in, right? If you manage to pull this one off. But if I'm attacking you, right, and you're in the right guard, and you attack at just the right moment, you're going to parry. And what that does is it's just going to give me a longer stun, right? It gives you a nice little speed bonus, right? And it's going to give you an opportunity to take the initiative back.
But if you start thinking about that stuff too much, your fundamentals break down, and all of a sudden they're just chopping you on the head over and over because you're not blocking.
There you go.
So it kind of feeds back into itself strategically. It creates this loop of like, okay, I've got my fundamentals. What else can I try? Okay, but like
that's it.
Doing all that sort of
just like fighting.
Getting that together. Yeah. I was playing as the Raider, and I landed 2 chops, and I came with a heavy one, and all of a sudden my axe was ablaze, and I was like bellowing out this extra roar. Like, oh yeah!
Oh my God!
Nailing it. So learning that about the specific character,
unblockable,
super key. Yeah.
So that's unblockable. That's what that is.
Unblockable is not something I like to hear as someone who's being attacked.
No.
What's my recourse?
Dodge.
Dodge. Okay.
Don't be there when it crosses the thing, right? Like it's really the point. Yeah. Each of these systems are all in play at the same time, and that, I think, that's the experience of learning For Honor. That is your brain sort of starting to comprehend how all these pieces come together, so that switching to the right system at the right moment becomes instinctive rather than something you have to think about consciously, right? Shortening the reflex cycle, right? So, and our skill cap on this one, I mean, it's really high. So the other piece to sort of bring all that together to kind of complete the mode, of course, is that duel takes place in our maps, in our multiplayer maps, right? And it's played over, its best is 3 out of 5, right? But each round is played in a different location, right? You move from spot to spot to spot, kind of across this map, and so you're constantly having to adjust your duel for being in this new location, so you can't just repeat the same stuff. Even if you're fighting the same person in all those rounds, your environment is changing.
Duels can be over really quick, but they can also, get intense. Yeah. If you're really well matched.
Yeah.
And it's just it is a mode that just like really gets my blood up in
good.
That good way.
Yeah. I think the part of the reason it gets your blood going so well is because we're not talking about gameplay mechanics that are too abstract, right? They're all just representations of the real world challenges you would face if you were doing this, right? And so you believe it, like you start to believe it, and you start to, I find that when I'm fighting, I'm using the part of my lizard brain that is like aiming for the, right? I want to aim for their skull, right? And I'm thinking in a way that is the same way that I was thinking when I was, like getting messed up in playground, brawls when I was a kid, right? Or it's like it's instinctive. You're hooking into kind of your intuitive warrior part, I think, and that's something we've done very deliberately. We've tried to stay away from mechanics that are too intellectually loaded, that force you to think too much about keeping track of stats or that stuff. Keep it that intense immersive experience, right?
Yeah.
And Duel is, like you say, it's the most personal mode in the game. It's you and this one other person, right? You go up against somebody full tilt where they're trying to win, you're trying to win. You come out with this really clear idea of who they are. And in For Honor, I love it that we can be fighting, right? I can be like, ting, 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 that was great, that's cool. And then I get done with that match and I'm off and then we have a couple more matches and then I come back and we get matched again, right? And now we're back together and I don't even look at your name. I'm like, ting, 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 I know this guy. Right? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that
this
approach,
is that one.
The 1-1-2,
that
kind of
I remember this
entry.
Yeah, I get this entry, right? I'm like, oh, that's the name, right? Like I recognize people's fighting styles before I recognize their name, right? Their username. And I think it's just fantastic because it's one of the essential truths of just dueling and normal in real life, and it translates really well over to the game. So.